Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. Bill Rice Jr. is on the phone with us this morning, and we'll be expecting Mike Amos calling from Grayton Beach, Florida. So we're going to have and of course also Will Matthews will be calling in. Brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. If you're looking for a career in the trucking industry, no better place. I'm talking about no better place than Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. We appreciate all of our sponsors this morning as we start a Wednesday. And, of course, good news from is everything good? With the Women's National Invitational Tournament has offered a bid to Troy University. And so Troy as an automatic qualifier after winning the Sun Belt Conference. Yeah, won the Sun Belt Conference. So, like you said, 24-8. That's a pretty good record. And 13-2 in the Sun Belt. That's real good, isn't it?
That's exceptional. Congratulations on playing in the NIT tournament. That would be quite a deal if we could win a couple of games in that, and maybe get to probably get farther in the NIT than we could in the NCAA.
Well, you're exactly right. Either tournament is a compliment to Troy's program, and I'm wondering if they play this at Madison Square Gardens. I wonder where they play their championships. The men's National Invitational Tournament plays their tournament, the Final Four at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's what they're known for, playing the Final Four in New York City at Madison Square Garden. You ever been to Madison Square Garden?
No, I have been on the outside looking in, though. If you want to, I've never been in the facility, but I've been when I go to New York, I always catch a bus by there. But again, those brackets they're going to get the bracket day is March the 14th, and we'll find out exactly who Troy's first round pick. I would think with Troy's record, what it is, that they would probably get an at home game, at least one at home game, maybe two.
Target Center.
That's a good
what
point.
Now?
Well, that would be great. If we do get a home game in the NIT tournament, we need to all try to
get Minneapolis
to go and support the team.
Steve just told me that the championships of the women's NIT it will be held at Minnesota. The Minnesota. What's the name of that facility, Steve? Target, Target. Okay, Target Center in Minneapolis is where they play the championships, and we'll be interested in watching the. It's always fun to watch the pairings, and those pairings will be on March the 14th, and we're excited about. Of course, it said they play at the Target Arena, where they're now paying their employees $24 an hour. That's pretty good. Isn't that right? I like that.
How many teams are in the women's NIT tournament? Do you know?
I don't know. I have no ideas, but
there are 4 openings.
And of course, it would be important to us to be able to play at least one game at the Trojan Arena and possibly two.
Well, I know they want to get that bad taste out of their mouth, but they did not like their last game being like the last game in the Sun Belt tournament finals.
That's right.
So,
excuse me. 68 teams in the women's NIT. Boy, that's a lot of basketball. 68 teams.
They probably are like the other tournament, and they have 4 play-in games, and then it's a 64-team tournament.
Yeah.
So that means to win it all, you have to win, 6 games.
What championship on Wednesday, March?
The first 4 games will be on
Yeah. For first 4 games will be on Wednesday, March the 14th. Is that right?
So they're probably going to announce the seedings before the 4th. That's when the games actually start.
Yeah.
On the
All right. Yeah.
14th.
Yeah. Maybe so. Did it say when the pairings will be?
The first 4 games we play on Wednesday, March 16th, and Thursday, March 17th.
Okay. Then Wednesday, March the 16th, and Thursday, March the 18th. So you can still have the pairings on those on the 14th.
16 host sites.
Yeah, 16 host sites, and I'm sure Troy will be one of those host sites.
The second round game will be played Friday, March 18th.
Okay.
21st.
So they start on 16th and the 18th, and I'm sure they'll have a pairings party. How many?
16 seeds. Teams.
Okay, you're right. 16 teams after the first group of 4. You know, so we'll be looking forward to that. And as Troy is hoping that they can put it together like they did during the regular season. I mean, you know, you couldn't ask for a better record: 24-8, and then 13-2. And one of those victories was against Mississippi State, and 73 to 66 win over Mississippi State on Mississippi State's home court, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with Troy getting a good, maybe a bye in the first round. So hopefully that's what we'll do. But we'll be watching that and keeping up with that. This show is brought to you by Green Hills Funeral Homes. Benny and Chrissy Pinkard, very good friends of mine and first class in every respect, Green Hills Funeral Home. Of course, Earl's Glass, located on South Brundage Street in Troy, and Rusty Earl, they do tremendous work. You know, whether it's windshield replacement or fender replacement, they can do it all. And also, my good friends Walt and Kristen at the Senko's Drugs and on the corner in downtown Troy, and been in business a long time. And of course, Charles Senko has been the pharmacist there for a long time, and they have a wonderful, wonderful drugstore right here in Troy. How about my good buddies at Goldfingers? Now, if you have not tried Goldfingers, you have missed out. It's the best chicken in town, and everybody tells me that. It is a great, great place to buy chicken and hamburgers and all the trimmings at
excellent French fries too.
yeah, I know, that's what I said. And I like the way they do the French fries too, and it's really an outstanding place to eat lunch or dinner. Is at Goldfingers. Bill Rice is on one end, and is Mike here yet? Rice will be able to hopefully bring him in like you do every day.
Yeah, if you used to do it, you can remember how you got to put it on.
I know what I'm saying.
Hold in the conference and then hit number 2.
Hit what now? What did you say first?
Hit it up, put me on hold.
Yep.
And then when the number 2 line is ringing, you hit conference button and then hit number 2, and then hit the conference button again and hit number
Here
1.
he comes. What does that number 2 mean? What did you say about number 2?
Hit line number 2.
Okay, all right. Here we go. You're exactly right. Good morning. You're on today in L.A. How you doing?
Trying to call?
Yeah, I got you, man. Got both of you. How you doing this morning?
It's raining down here.
Boy, it is pouring down here.
Jacksonville State is living life like not many teams will ever live in the NCAA tournament. They lose their conference tournament game to Jacksonville University. Jacksonville University plays a team out of Louisville last night called, I guess, Bellamar.
Yeah.
Or Bellamon. They're making the move from Division II to Division I. So they have 4 years before they can actually make the NCAA tournament, even though they let them play in the conference tournament. And they won the conference tournament last night over Jacksonville. So by them winning and them not being eligible to compete in the NCAA tournament. Jacksonville State was the regular season A-Sun champion, going 13-3. So now Jacksonville State will represent that conference in the NCAA tournament.
Golly, they made the NCAA first tournament.
They made an NCAA tournament just because of the fact that the Bellarmine out of Louisville couldn't qualify because they were transitioning from Division II. That is unbelievable.
And that's the team that actually beat them in regular season. The Bellarmine beat Jacksonville.
The team that beat them in the tournament was Jacksonville, who used to play the Dolphins.
You mean Jacksonville out of Jacksonville, Florida, played Jacksonville State? But
they knocked them out in the semifinals. So I'm just saying, it's incredible that you can lose your conference tournament, which is a one-bid league, and now Jacksonville State is going dancing in the NCAA tournament. Can you imagine how happy those players and coaches had to be watching that game last night?
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't believe that they even let that team play in the tournament to avoid this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this team, I don't know how you pronounce it, Bellarmine.
Bellamar, something like that, we've got you.
That's absolutely incredible for Jacksonville State to get in the NCAA tournament this way.
Well,
hey, Michael, remember the other day you made a great observation. You talked about all the teams and college basketball teams, Division I college basketball teams in Alabama that won 20 games and then had a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. Y'all to update that now. I bet Jacksonville State probably won 20 games. They're in. Troy won 20 games.
Stanford won 20 games. Yeah, UAB's tournament starts today. Jacksonville finished the season 21-10. Troy won 20 games. South Alabama had 19 wins. Of course, they were beaten by Arkansas Little Rock in the tournament, but Stanford almost won their conference this year under Bucky McMillan. He had a great season.
Do you think Bucky's not going to the tournament though? Is he?
No. They got beat. Yeah. Also, interesting news yesterday: the Troy women have accepted a bid to play in the WNIT.
Yeah, that's right.
NIT tournament. But I mean, why do you accept that now? Do you not wait for it at large?
Yeah. Evidently, they must have been told that
they weren't going to get it.
Evidently, that's the case. That they must have been told that they won't get an invite to the NCAA championships. And then the WNIT offered it to them, and I would think they'd be with their record. I would think they would be one of the top seeds in the tournament. Wouldn't you think?
I don't know if they'll be a top seed, but there's a chance they could host a home game. A few years ago, they hosted the WNIT at Troy, and they hosted UAB.
That's right. And hopefully that'd be a lot of fun to go to a few NIT games, wouldn't it? How about the boys though? The men though, Mike, would they have a chance at playing in NIT?
You take it.
I don't think they're going to qualify for the NIT. There's the CBI as well, but I don't know if.
You win 20 games, you ought to get a shot, at that. And tell me.
I think in the conference though they finished fourth, so I think if they had been maybe second in the conference, they would have had a better chance.
Yeah. Hopefully, what is the other tournament that you were talking about?
There's one called the CBI.
Okay, and they might have a shot with that, wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I think it's one of those that the department would have to get involved, and they would have to try to promote Troy. I don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
Well, Lloyd, that's some big news on Jack State, big news on Troy going to the NIT after being the regular season champs. Let's don't forget that.
Yeah. And a tremendous record. And like Mike said, though, wouldn't you think that they would wait a little bit to see if they made the big tournament, wouldn't they?
Well, I had an outside, hopes that I didn't think we would, but I thought you could make a strong case or a decent case that they deserve to be in the big dance after that great regular season. But You know, last year, even when they had a great regular season and won the conference tournament, they were still seeded 14th. You remember we talked about that at the time. We thought that they should have been seeded better than 14th.
Yeah, I mean, you lose to Duke, Missouri, and Wake Forest. That's 3 of Troy's losses before they lost in the title game of the conference tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the schedule Troy played was stronger than ever, and that's not counting that they also beat Mississippi State at Mississippi State.
Now, when when will that tournament start? Most of this week are conference tournaments. Is that right? So
you won't know anything till next week.
Yeah. So
you know what it is?
It's Sunday night or Monday.
There's so many conference tournaments, and they're automatic qualifiers. That takes probably about 20 spots right there. Then you have the at-larges of the teams that are in the top 40 that are going to make it. So that doesn't leave many spots for everybody else. That's what got Troy.
Mike, can you tell
it?
it?
There's also like 300 basketball teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
So many basketball teams, it's crazy, man.
Exactly right. So let me.
Jack State and Troy also got rained out last night. It got rescheduled for today. So the Jack State Troy game will be today.
Yeah, and I don't know if they can get it in today. It's going to rain all day today, from what I gather.
It says it's been moved up to 2 p.m. Today at MK Stadium, Ruby Abbott Field.
I tell you what, I would love to go up there and see that game. I really would.
Well, it's supposed to rain out like the Title Larks has a big game against Mosley
Yes,
Panama
sir.
City at Riddle Pace Field. It's supposed to take place this afternoon. I wonder if they'll be able to get that in.
Well, let me just say this: if you can't get your game in at Riddle Pace Field, you can't get it in anywhere today, because of the all weather surface on their field.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
It says rain only 40% today, so maybe they can get it in.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, and I'm sure they're going to throw you know who, Mike. And I say that because he's probably one of, if not the best, one of the best 4 or 5 pitchers in the state of Alabama.
I don't know if you pitched him or not, though. You know, did he pitch over the weekend?
I don't know. I don't know how they. I wish Billy would call us this morning. He knows all this information. Here comes Steve's been bringing me all kinds of information today.
Tell you what, we've had horrible wildfires down here in Dade County that destroyed a lot of homes and a lot of property. I'm hoping this rain has helped out.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I've got my Tennessee Vol attire on today.
A lot of neighborhoods have been destroyed.
Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. How you like that, Mike? That's my team to beat in the SEC tournament. Tennessee, the Tennessee Vols.
You might be right.
They got Bernie and Ernie.
I have never heard about homes being destroyed in wildfires in Florida. You hear about it in California, but down there where you're living.
Boy, I tell you what, this rain is
Yeah,
good.
you know,
This thing.
right down the road in Santa Rosa, about, I guess right around 3 years ago, right when we moved down, there was about 25, 27 homes that got destroyed down there.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be, Steve gave me all the information on the NIT, the women's NIT, and it's a 64-team field. It includes 32 teams that received automatic berths. Troy received an automatic berth, and 1 berth of each of the nation's conferences at 32 at-large invitations. So it's going to be a big field, and it's going to hopefully Troy can get in there and win a couple of early games and have a shot at this thing.
Well, if they could win the NIT, that'd be one of the biggest deals in sports history at Troy University. But these are still great teams Troy will be playing.
question about it. And we can look forward to it. And Troy's in the. We'll get to watch them play at least one more time, maybe more.
Yeah, the WNIP bracket will be released on Monday, March 14th. The first round is set
Yeah.
to be held between March 16th and the 18th at on-campus sites.
Yeah.
Maybe they can host a game.
Yeah, that's right, and possibly 2 games. We're looking at this. They'll round one.
Football was also supposed to have their pro day yesterday. I don't know if that was able to happen or not.
Oh gosh, I don't know if they will. Well, like I said, if anybody could do it, Troy could do it because of all their all-weather facilities. Now, Mike, I was at an event last night with a bunch of Troy people, and the coach was there, and it was very impressive.
Yeah, y'all are down in Headland with Coach.
And Headland, yeah, Headland had a big crowd. The media, 3 or 4 TV stations were there, and I tell you, he was very impressive and gave a great speech. And I'm gonna tell you, if Purdy wins, now I want to clear this up now, because he's one of the best-looking football coaches in America. He's a sharp guy, in great shape, and is just got the great temperament, and he's got all those things going. And then the things that he believes in as a coach goes right down to the basic essentials of having a great program. And he's got these kids believing so far, and when they start spring practice, and then now what they're going to do next week is AEA holidays, or I call it AEA spring break is next week, and then when they get back, I want to say on the 22nd, they start spring practice that day. And now they've been practicing 3 days a week, and starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, and or they call it 5:45. They've been practicing 3 days a week so far without coaches, and then now when they come back from spring break, they'll be ready to go and start the spring training. And
I think Rusty Wood, the strength and conditioning coordinator, I think you can have your GAs out there with you too.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can have any on the field position coaches with you.
Yeah. But Mike, it looks good, and he's got he's rolling, and I tell you, he's an excellent speaker. He very cordial. Very he talks to everybody and makes everybody feel like they're part of the program, and they are.
I mean, it's a total 180 compared to what Troy had before. Nothing against Coach Lindsey, but I mean, Coach Summerall seems like he's a handshaker, big time personality, big time motivator, a guy that likes to, never met a stranger, has got a Coach Blakeney kind of personality.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of got from just being around him.
Let me say,
not only did he shake my hand earlier in the day when we were at the pep rally before the basketball game, he shook my hand after the game too. He's just one of those guys, I feel like.
Well, and let me tell you this, and I hate to say this, but if this gets back to the coach, it needs to. When you shake Coach Summerall's hand, you shake hands and look at him straight in the eyes, and you shake hands with a great handshake, with a good handshake. Well, Coach, the previous coach had a hard time with a good handshake. His handshake was a dishpan hand, Mike, and somebody needs to tell him that he needs to improve his handshake. And it doesn't matter now; he's an assistant coach, but hey, shake a man's hand and let me know about it. And Coach Summerall, well, how many times you heard me say that? Look at a man straight in the eyes and a firm handshake, and that's exactly what you'll get with Coach Summerall.
That's what I've heard Dr. Hawkins speak many times, especially the student groups, and he always makes that point, is when you talk to somebody, look them in the eye.
That's
Make
right.
eye contact. That's an important point.
And a firm handshake, like a man, you know what I mean? A firm
I've always
handshake.
been kind of a dead fish handshake kind of guy.
Oh.
Look down and that dead fish.
Yeah.
Of course, in society today with COVID and everything, everybody said that the handshake was going away. But I tell you what, man, it has not gone away down in Florida.
Yeah.
Every time I go to church, anytime I go anywhere, everybody still shakes hands.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well,
I don't think that's going away.
yeah.
I hope not.
And listen to this, Wyatt, and his grandmama, I don't know, I think she would be pleased just because you go to church, but he likes the Methodist church down there, right? It's your church.
Oh, good. We'll get to know him then. And his
No, I'm not talking about Coach. I'm talking about Michael. I don't know.
Not only that his children are going to Troy Elementary School, so maybe they'll be classmates with Maggie and Jack.
Okay.
Looks like Troy's Pro Day is actually Thursday, so actually Troy's Pro Day will be Thursday. There'll be NFL and Canadian Football League scouts, so that actually will be Thursday. I had the date wrong.
And Coach, who puts that on? I think Coach.
Coach Webb does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Coach. All right, Coach Webb does. Okay.
I mean, that is one shocking thing. When Coach Blayton was there, Troy would have guys drafted every year. We had 2 guys drafted in the first round. I think a couple guys drafted in the second round. I don't know if Neil Brown ever had one guy drafted. Maybe Garcia, the lineman. He was more of a blatant player. I think maybe he played for Neil 1 year. But after that, I can't remember Troy having a guy drafted under Neil, and I can't remember Troy having a guy drafted under Lindsey.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. That's
well, you might.
I would say there's been over 6 years since Troy's had somebody drafted.
Yeah.
A free agent.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've had a free agent every year, but not drafted.
Yeah. Coach.
That tells you it's a big deal to be drafted. I think there's only 7 rounds. There used to be 20 rounds of the NFL draft, maybe more than that. But Alabama last year had 10 or 11 drafted, 6 in the first round. So Alabama takes it for granted that they're going to have 3 or 4 first rounders and then 10 people drafted. But I can remember before Saban got there, where Alabama went years without players being drafted.
But I mean, it's hard to believe, though. I mean, in the NFL right now, there's more players in the NFL from West Alabama, Stanford, and Jacksonville State than Troy, and that used to never be the case.
Well, Coach Shaughnessy, Mike, for years has put on the pro clinic and does a wonderful job. And so surely Coach Shaughnessy handles that for Troy.
I don't know if he still does. Not being that football.
But, it's really a non. Of course, this does not pertain to the Troy's program, Mike. This is a a group of people putting together this for the pros.
Yeah, but
so
yeah. Event.
Oh yeah, sure. And Coach Shaughnessy has been doing it for years. I'll give him a ring and find out. What it's.
How many people were down in Headland last night?
A good crowd, Mike. In fact, I was very proud of the Headland bunch. I put that group together a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. And it's been one of our top alumni chapters. And you would have been proud. They had a big crowd and a lot of press people. They had four or five TV stations there, and they interviewed him. And like we were talking about earlier, he has a great demeanor with the fans, and you can feel wanted in the program when he shakes your hand and greets you.
Well, I tell you, it sounds like what Michael said, and you said, that he is doing all the right things in the off season. I talked about last week that he had already been to Troy Elementary School with some of his players and did a meet and greet with the kids and the teachers that created a strong impression on the little kids. So if you get the little kids interested, they're going to bring their mom and dad. So keep doing what you're doing, Coach.
And and something about it, he's got 4 kids. He's got a house full of kids, so he's I'm sure he and his wife both are excited about being in Troy. They feel like the Troy public has already accepted them.
3 years before.
What now?
They lived here for 3 years before, so they actually know people.
Yeah. Well, he after he left Troy, he went to Ole Miss for 1 year, and then after Ole Miss, he went back to his alma mater, Kentucky, and was their coach for 2 or 3 years. Mike.
He was there for 3 years, I think, because Lindsey.
Yeah.
He left Nils last year, before Nils last year.
Yeah.
So he was at Troy for Nils' first 3 years. Then he went to Ole Miss for 1 year. And then he was at Kentucky for 3 years. And then he got the Troy job.
And you know something that he talked about last night before he came on at Troy, he filled up his obligation to Kentucky by coaching for the whole month of December, and you know with the Kentucky.
The bowl game.
Yeah, that's right.
Big win over Iowa. Which was
They was.
I watched it. Huge news in the NFL yesterday. I'm shocked by this. Everybody thought Aaron Rodgers was possibly going to go to play for Denver, the Broncos, and then the Broncos all of a sudden out of nowhere get Russell Wilson in a trade from Seattle. So
Are you serious?
Loaded with talent. Of course, Jerry Jeudy, the great Alabama wide receiver, is on that team. A lot of other Alabama guys, actually. Patrick Surtain, 2 or 3 other guys I can't even think of right now. But Russell Wilson, who was the franchise quarterback for Seattle,
Oh, yeah.
on the move, and will play for the Broncos. So look out for the Broncos next year.
Well, let me tell you this. He better get ready for the cold weather because it is cold up there.
He played one season in Wisconsin when he transferred. But
Yeah.
all these pro quarterbacks are used to weather by now. I mean, Russell Wilson's been playing in the league for 9 years probably.
Well, now who will Seattle get now? You know.
I don't know. It's a massive trade, and they'll have a lot of money to float around. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Aaron Rodgers decided to sign a 3 or 4 year deal with the Packers yesterday. He's going to make $50 million a year. Highest paid quarterback, highest paid player in the NFL.
Say that one more time. Aaron Rodgers for what? With what?
$50 million a year.
Oh boy!
He's gonna make 50.
It's what's been reported.
Yeah.
Not the total contract for 3 years, but 1 year he's going to make $50 million. Gosh.
Wait a minute. You mean in 1 year his contract is worth $50 million?
That's what they're saying.
Whoa!
Nobody that wins the lottery wins $50 million. That is amazing.
Oh boy! Well, and of course I really like Aaron Rodgers. He's become one of my favorite players.
In the playoffs.
What now? Oh yeah, he let me. He let. Well, you know, he didn't have any receivers. I knew they'd think he had a good group of receivers.
Yeah,
I like
four-year deal worth $200 million.
Oh, it's a 4-year deal worth $200 million to stay at Green Bay.
I would say that. I would stay in Green Bay for $200 million too.
Boy, you would have thought Green Bay didn't have that kind of money.
The MVP agreed to a 4-year deal worth $200 million. The Packers will make him the highest paid player in NFL history of $50 million average annual salary. Rodgers will receive $153 million guaranteed as part of the extension.
Oh gosh, that means that.
That means if he gets hurt, blows out his knee, and he's done for his career, he's going to get $153 million.
100, boy, oh boy, what a contract! What a contract! Don't you know?
How much does LeBron James make a year? I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest annual salaries in the history of pro sports.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing about it is Aaron Rodgers is about 37, 38 years old.
Yeah, he sure is. He sure is. And you know, you reckon what Brady thinks about that? I believe Brady would have stayed 4 more years for that. Don't you think?
He might have Brady come back. Everybody keeps on talking about Jimmy Garoppolo is out and won't play for San Francisco. And San Francisco needs a quarterback, and Brady's from California. And
Yeah.
San Francisco was right there last year. Everybody keeps on making comments that Brady might end up in San Francisco.
Did you know?
I didn't know that Brady was from California. So how did he end up at Michigan?
I saw Brady.
I don't know.
I was at the game when Brady went for the scored, and they kicked the extra point, and Alabama scored and missed the extra point. I was at that game. Michigan beat Alabama in the Orange Bowl.
I'll never forget it.
So was Cornelius Griffin. He was the captain of that Alabama team.
Yeah.
He was chasing, trying to sack Brady the whole game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Tom Brady's from San Mateo, California.
Yeah. Okay. You can tell he doesn't speak our language. But I tell you what, he's there.
Trying to plan a wine trip to Napa in June, and I've been talking to my boss and some other people that have been out to Napa and Sonoma and the wine country, and everybody's telling me not to fly into San Francisco because of traffic being so bad. But apparently you got to fly into Sacramento and drive down from Sacramento. But it's an hour and a half from Sacramento to wine country.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we're trying to figure out all the logistics.
You know where a little place north of there is one of the great, most beautiful places in America.
Carmel?
Oh, you talk.
No.
Well, that's south.
It's north.
He's talking about the redwoods.
Lake Tahoe. I'm talking about Lake Tahoe, which is one of the
Lake
most beautiful
Tahoe, yeah.
places in America.
Yeah,
And see, you're just up the mountain. It's not but about no more than a couple hours.
Well, I've always heard that was it, Highway 1 or something is supposed to be the prettiest drive in America. That's near Carmel and the coast.
It's scary. It is a scary drive. Yeah.
Yeah, we put that drive.
And,
what do you say? Is it one of the prettiest drives you've ever had?
Oh, it's got to be, but it's a scary drive. In fact, I felt like back when I did it, I felt like getting out of my truck or car and going up there and see what was on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a scary drive.
There's a lot of cliffs in California and Oregon,
Yeah.
especially around the coastline.
Now,
I've only been to Europe one time. Dad and I took a trip to Switzerland and the Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
And it was a University of Alabama alumni group that took the trip. And so we stayed in Interlaken, but then we went from there on bus trips to all the places you're supposed to hit that area of Switzerland.
But that was a snow skiing adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I could have skied, but I didn't. But on all these chartered buses we took on these roads, I was just dumbfounded how small the roads were, how fast these buses were going, and then you just look out to the side, and I mean, that driver's not paying attention for 2 seconds and gets off the road, and you're plunging 1,000 feet.
And let me tell you this, I was, and my wife will tell me because she kept telling me to shut up. But I rode one of those buses, and let me tell you something. He looked like he was driving off that cliff maybe 10 or 12 times in the trip, and I was scared to death all 10 or 12 times that he did it, and he kept doing it. And I said, man, you better. I was wanting to give him my address. You know, I tell you, he was tough. You know, the way he drove that bus.
Yeah, that's
it scared me to death.
Tough job driving those big buses, and tough job driving those big 18-wheelers that we got all these Wiley Sanders truck drivers doing.
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness we got Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, one of the great trucking companies in America, ladies and gentlemen. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. We'll be back with more of Today in L.A. Who's going to get my coffee, Rice?
Not me.
We'll be back.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
Shipping Wars is back and bigger than ever.
More work, more money.
These shippers have a long road ahead. Who will come out on top?
If we can get it there on time, we'll make some good money.
Shipping Wars. New episodes Tuesdays at 10. Only on A&E.
Montgomery, get ready for WWE Saturday Night's main event. The women of Raw take center stage as big-time Vex, the EST, and the Nightmare collide for the Raw Women's Championship. Plus,
I am a revolutionary. I am a visionary.
Seth freaking Rollins. It's WWE Saturday Night's main event, April 23rd. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages on sale now.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
And
Back to our show, brought to you by Cinco Drugs on the corner of downtown Troy. Walt and Kristen Sanders, they own that drugstore, and they, I tell you what, they've got the best coffee shop in town, and of course, every day at 9 o'clock, all of them get in there and they play that little ball, that little game they play to see who pays for the coffee. They've been doing that. That's been traditional. You know, that was the same thing that Gam Green had in his drugstores for years. Did you know that?
My grandfather, Hickey, was always in that group that did that. That tradition, no telling how long that goes.
That's right. That little metal ball, they drop it through there, and whoever won paid for the coffee, or lost paid for the coffee.
You know, Simcoe has charge accounts just like birds. I made a post on Facebook yesterday and was actually talking about gas prices, and I mentioned something about charge accounts. Now I was talking about how like the full service gas station has now become extinct, and somebody said yeah, and then they mentioned, and somebody talked about charge accounts. And I said, yeah, they're about extinct too. And somebody said, but not at Cinco Drugs.
That's right, and not at Bird Drugs either. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
I paid $4.19 for gas yesterday. What are y'all paying in Troy?
Well, I will tell you exact because I waited to do it. Let me tell you this: Walmart was $3.50 a gallon. Wait a minute, $3.90 a gallon.
It's $3.99 at the B line right down from Troy Cable.
So I paid less than $4 a gallon, and I wanted to make sure I do it. Probably be the last time I'll be able to do that.
Actually, I have to get the mid grade.
Oh gosh.
That's $4.75, I think.
Oh boy. You know what? I found out, Mike. I found out that a lot of this stuff about not having to pay extra for the premium gas. I've been told that if you go the middle of the road, there is, you know, with it's not a premium, but it's just a little bit below. Yeah, that you can get by with that.
I do mid-grade. I do the mid-grade. I don't do the premium.
I'm glad to hear that. Because you know,
it's one of those things. My car's not going to die if I put regular in it.
You know. Let me tell you this. Somebody got to tell your mama that though. She's still going with a high grade.
She's always going to be that way.
So call her and tell her today that she needs to go with the mid grade.
Well, I read yesterday that the average price in America, I think, is $4.17. Plenty of places in California where it's almost $7 a gallon.
Yeah.
It's over $6 a gallon. In Troy, most of the places I'm seeing are $3.99.9, so they are keeping it 1 cent to 1 cent from $4. About a week ago, when this war stuff started, I filled up Carrie's car. And I think I got it for $3.29, and I was thinking, well, I normally just get $10 or $15. I said, well, I'm going to fill it up, so these gas prices might be going up. And, boy, thank goodness I did. I saved just 70 cents a gallon by going ahead and topping
And you know, the bad thing about it, it's going to get worse. I can see it's probably paying $5 a gallon for maybe before the month's over.
I just don't understand. I mean, don't we have reserves? Like, how does this happen so quick?
Me too.
It seems like there would have been a couple of weeks, 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these gas stations, they just price gouge people.
You know what?
Just say it's due to the war.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There's some people making money on this. It really is.
Well, ExxonMobil and Shell and Texaco, and Saudi Arabia, they're making a fortune. So I thought about it. I mean, the price of getting the oil out of the ground or out of the ocean is pretty constant, right? It doesn't change much. So, the rest of it is supply and demand.
And I'm not talking about it being gouged at the local level, but at the front end of that, I'm sure there's some gouging going on. Don't you agree?
I guess BP is trying to make up from all the oil spill money they had to pay everybody.
Yeah. But this is the sacrifice, from what I gather, this is the sacrifice we have to make, is the price of gasoline. But you know what? It's going to affect groceries. I tell you, you better buy water. You better, they say.
Well, we don't talk about, we talk about the gas price, but the diesel price is higher than the gas price. So all these truck 18-wheelers we see, they're paying
well, let me tell you, Steve came walking in here with a big smile on his face. He's got something to tell me.
I bet everybody wishes they could hear a mean tweet and $1.68 gallon gas.
Oh yeah, I know it. Oh boy, it's funny. It's funny, but at the end of the day, it's not so funny.
I made a post on Facebook yesterday, Mike. You know that I'm a silver enthusiast. I like
that's right.
Silver to fight inflation is the reason I got interested in it. And I made the point that in 1964, in lots of places in America, you could get a gallon of gas for 25 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
The average price for the whole year was 30 cents, but I'm sure at some point in that year you could get gas for 25 cents.
Yeah.
So in 1964, you could take a quarter and buy a gallon of gas. But in 1964, that was the last year the quarters were actually made with silver. It was 90% silver.
Yeah.
So you could get that silver quarter, which some people probably have still, pre-1964, you could you get a gallon per quarter. Well, if you had that same quarter today, you could sell that quarter for at least $4. That's the silver value.
Are you serious?
Quarter.
Yeah.
So for the exact same quarter, you could still get a gallon of gas. So
oh man.
There's a lesson there on inflation and silver.
Well, tell us a little bit about silver and gold. Is that the way to go now? Is a lot of people going that route?
It should be, in my opinion, because it's a hedge or considered a safe haven against inflation or world crises or wars. But it really, of all the turmoil in the world in the last 10 years and all the money printing, gold and silver have not done what I would have thought. So I was actually wrong to go heavily into silver.
Yeah.
But in the last...
This is his opinion. I want to clear this up. This is Rice's opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's not like it's something controversial.
No, yeah, I know it.
Gold and silver.
But gold and silver, gold is now over $2,000, and yesterday or the day before, it hit an all-time high of about $2,070 an ounce.
Oh boy!
Higher than it's ever been. Silver, the all-time high for silver was $50 an ounce. It hit about $49 an ounce 12 years ago when I inherited some silver. That's why I got interested in it. I started checking the prices of silver.
Yeah.
Well, this morning when I checked it, it's only $26 an ounce for, so silver is, heck, it's about half what it was 12 years ago. I don't understand it.
So, but now, so the way to go, if you're going to go that route, would be gold, wouldn't it?
Gold, yeah. Well, that's why you got all those people out in Alaska and the Klondike They're all out there mining gold.
Yeah.
Here's what I think, though, Mike, is that silver, you might have heard it's called the poor man's gold. No, I can't afford $2,060 an ounce for a gold coin, but I can afford $26 for a silver dollar.
Yeah.
So there's still families, middle-class families, that could still afford silver. And also silver is different than gold in that it has a lot of industrial uses. Like, for example, they use it in making solar panels, and they use it in certain medicines. So it's another thing that has really gone up in the last couple of days, 250% in like a week, is nickel.
Oh, really?
Let me tell you a funny story. About 5 years ago, I read some article, some guy that said he is converting all his money and saving pre-2015 nickels that were made with real nickel.
Yeah.
And he said that at some point the price of nickel is going to double, triple, quadruple. And I said, that's an easy way to save money and convert money. And so I started saving nickels, and then I would get some quarters or dollars, and I'd say I want a roll of nickels for it.
Now,
and I had $1,200 worth of nickels. And dang, if I didn't get something from my mortgage or something that said I owed more, or they'd redone my loan and I owed the bank $1,200 that I didn't know I had to suddenly pay them.
You paid them in nickels.
I cashed in all my dang nickels.
Even Buffalo nickels. You know what a Buffalo nickel was?
You actually had $1,200 in nickels. That's really true.
Yeah, I did it for like a year and a half. Slowly, every time I went to the bank, I would.
Mike, I've got a jar full of nickels.
Everybody in my family just said, "What, Bill? You're crazy. Why are you doing this?" Well, I looked yesterday. You know what the metal value of a nickel is right now? It's 9 cents. So, and it's still going. They say
it would have been double your money.
I would have doubled my money if I had not sold them. That's the story of my life.
What? Hey, how about a Buffalo nickel? You know what that is, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they worth more than a regular nickel? Is that right?
There's two ways to look at coin collecting. Numismatics is how rare it is, and if it has a certain mint mark, and how many they made, and it's like collecting stamps. If they're rare, you can get high prices. But I always just was interested in the actual metal that made the coin. So I looked at coins that were 90% silver, and in the LBJ administration, they went away from silver coins. So that's why even today, if you check your change, you need to look and see if you got any coins that are before 1965. So if you do, you got some money.
Well, that's interesting.
A couple friends that live on Red Mountain on one of those beautiful old homes, like from the 20s. I mean, it's like a 3-story home, and their kitchen sink is made entirely of silver. So apparently, back in the old days, they made sinks of silver. It's really amazing to look at.
Y'all like me. Y'all like Downton Abbey. I binge watched it a couple of months ago, and then watching that, I would see all these servants serving these fine meals on silver platters and silver tea kettles. Those were not silver plated. Those were 100% silver, and I thought, oh my gosh, how much of those would those be worth today?
Most people are eating with silver worth more than most people.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Well, it used to be for weddings, you would get real silver forks.
That's right.
Knives,
yeah.
And then maybe a tea server set.
Yeah, you're right.
A silver goblet.
Or a fork, or a knife. Yeah.
Those are what. But I say the price of silver is $26 an ounce. You could not go buy a silver dollar today for $26 because it's so rare and so many people want it. They add a big premium on top of it. And so, like, if I wanted to buy a silver dollar from a silver retailer, I would probably have to pay $40.
All right, let me ask you this, and a lot of people still collect these. Is a Kennedy $half. Is that an all silver coin?
Yeah, I think the Kennedy $half was 45 or 50% silver.
Okay. Is that an investment? Can you invest in a Kennedy? A lot of people still collect those Kennedy $half.
Yeah, then they quit making silver dollars in, I think, 1934.
Oh boy!
So
is the penny? When did they stop making copper pennies?
The real copper pennies are worth like 3 cents, 4 cents.
Somebody told me the 1943 penny is worth tons of money.
Yeah, and that's Amos. You can get these coin books, and it'll tell you, that there are coins that are just outrageously high.
A lot of people throw pennies in a jar and so forth, and no tellings if they looked at them. Some of them would be worth some money, wouldn't it?
I throw all my pennies on the ground so people have good luck and pick them
but
up.
But now
Every time I have pennies, I just throw them on the ground.
Now the Kennedy $half, it's a Kennedy $half, not a Kennedy dollar. Isn't that right?
Yeah, and then they've
and
who was on the coin change, like before the Kennedy $half, it was the Franklin $half. Ben Franklin.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that was a 90% half. That's the one I'm interested in, is the 90%. I used to buy. I was looking for an active buyer of silver coins. And I would put ads in the little bulletin board in Montgomery, say, if you got some silver coins, I'm interested, I'll buy them.
Yeah.
And you know who one of my best sources was bank tellers that knew this.
Yeah.
And they had worked for years, and they would look at the date, and if they got a pre-1964 quarter, they would replace it with one of their own quarters after and keep the $1964.
Oh, gosh.
And then, so I bought a lot of quarters from bank tellers.
Yeah. How about the old-fashioned silver dollar?
Rice says the 1913 Liberty Head nickel is worth $4.5 million.
Oh gosh. Oh.
One of the most well-known rarities. Only 5 Liberty nickels were struck in 1913, all of which were unauthorized. Legislation only allowed the Buffalo nickels to be struck in 1913, but it's believed that a few rogue mint employees struck a few illicit specimens. These famous pieces have been breaking records since 1972, when one became the first coin to sell for over $100,000. In 1996, another piece became the first to sell for over $1 million. The current record holder is the Ellisburg specimen, graded. It's got a grade on it, but it sold in 2018 for $4.5 million.
And back that far back, isn't that amazing? Oh gosh, ladies and gentlemen, on our show every day we sit down. We don't know exactly what we're going. We know some things we're going to talk about, and some things we don't know what we're going to talk about. No, I would have never thought that we would end up talking about coins today. Well, Rice is not an authority, but a well-versed in coins, and we're really enjoying the show.
Here's why I got interested in it. My grandfather, Bob Rice, that worked for the Highway Department.
Yeah.
He started. I think a lot of people did this when they switched away from the 90% silver coins. People started hoarding and looking for the silver coins and saving them.
Yeah.
And so he would save silver dollars, $half, quarters, dimes. They're silver dimes. And he got a pretty good collection. And then my other grandfather, Hickey, he didn't do what Baba got, let's call junk coins, just circulating coins. Hickey would buy these collector sets when they came out of like the bicentennial silver set. And so I inherited coins from Hickey and Baba through my parents. And I've kind of educated myself and
But if you keep having to make house payments with your collection,
Well, here's how I don't recommend people doing it, because I actually think these markets are rigged, that they keep silver and gold down to protect the dollar. But remember when COVID hit, I thought, oh, this is going to be great for silver because, inflation is coming. They're going to print so much money, and it's a crisis. People are afraid. Well, when that COVID hit, I checked it. Silver was about $25 an ounce. It's about right where it is today.
Yeah.
Well, in about 1 week, the price of an ounce of silver went down to below $13 an ounce. It plunged like it has never plunged before. And I still don't understand how in the world that could happen. So it's come back up from $13 to today is $26 an ounce.
Oh boy!
But it's still way below what it was 12 years ago, and then in 1980 it also hit 50. So silver inflation is rampant. Everything costs more, including gas. But the one thing that doesn't cost more is the thing that should cost more, silver. I don't understand.
Well, let me ask this. How about the old-fashioned silver dollar, which a lot of people had collection. My dad had a collection of that for a long time. And what's the value of an old-fashioned silver dollar?
Well, it's affected by the price of silver every day, so it varies. So right now, I'm so soured on it because the prices keep getting knocked down. I don't check it like I used to, but I would say that's a 98% silver coin, and so silver's $26 an ounce, and then they put a big premium on it. I would say any silver dollar you have, you could sell it on eBay or to silver buffs like myself for $35 to $40.
Boy, that's pretty good return, Rice.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have those old-fashioned silver dollars, don't they?
Yes. They should hold on to them too, buddy. I mean, one of these days, silver's going to get to where it should be, which is like $100 an ounce, and you'll really be looking good. But
well, all right. Now, what's the value of copper?
It is high. All of these industrial metals are in demand, and I don't know. I used to check that too, and they quit making pennies with copper years ago. But I would say, a penny, if you have a copper penny, I think it was pre-1982, maybe it was when they went away from copper, it's definitely not 1 cent. I would say it's probably 3 cents. So
I bet, there are people that have thousands of dollars in pennies. They've saved pennies, throwing them in a jar for years, and some people still have those pennies,
Well, it depends on the year and when they went away from silver or when they went, and now with nickels, when they went away from nickels. Apparently with nickels, it's got to be a pre-2015 nickel to have the actual nickel content you want.
Yeah, it says an ounce of silver today is 26.14.
What now?
$26.14 for an ounce of silver.
$26.24.
14
for an ounce of silver.
So.
Well, it used to be that silver and gold were real money. I mean, you've seen you're a big fan of Western movies, Mike, and I bet you've seen a dozen where the cowboy goes into the bar and he throws a silver or gold coin on the bar and says "round for everybody."
Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe that was a silver U.S. dollar, but maybe it was just what they call a silver round. It was just could have been made by anybody. All that mattered is the weight, and if it was real silver. In other words, you did not, to spend money, you did not have to have money that said printed by the U.S. government or the U.S. Treasury.
Exactly.
I mean, money was actually silver and gold.
All right, it's a great show, and you got any comments, call us today at 670-0052 and get your 10 cents worth. Of course, we'll be back with more of Today in L.A. right after this.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Shipping Wars is back and bigger than ever.
More work, more money.
These shippers have a long road ahead. Who will come out on top?
If we can get it there on time, we'll make some good money.
Shipping Wars. New episodes Tuesdays at 10. Only on A&E.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly specials.
Montgomery, get ready for WWE Saturday Night's main event. The Women of Raw take center stage as Big Time Vex, the EST, and the Nightmare collide for the Raw Women's Championship. Plus,
I am a revolutionary. I am a visionary.
Seth freaking Rollins. It's WWE Saturday Night's main event, April 23rd. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages on sale now.
Yeah. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy. And Jason Gregory tells me that this is one of the top sales weeks of his experience here in Troy. And, of course, he's had a great experience. You know, we are C-Spire. We are C-Spire right here on Troy Cable, and we appreciate them very much. Of course, we also want to mention our good folks at Piggly Wiggly, and I promise you, ice, cold, milk, produce, they've got it all at Piggly Wiggly right here in Troy, Alabama. And, of course, they've still got great selection of vegetables, and I shop there regularly, and I really enjoy it. Of course,
back to silver coins. Say if I owned the gas station, which I could have if my dad didn't get out of the oil business 30 years ago, and somebody came in and they said, I'll pay you $4 in dollar bills, or I'll pay you with a 1964 silver quarter, I would take the silver quarter and save it, and then my thought would be, well, this silver quarter, you know, a year from now, it might be, instead of being worth $4, it might be worth $8. You don't know.
Yeah.
That $4 of paper money, it's not going to be buying as much a year from now, is it? I mean, it'll be worth 80 cents instead of $1.
Yes, but but back to what we were talking about with silver. Do you think silver is a good buy? Do you think people should buy silver? We know they should buy gold, but
well, I would say that I don't give investment advice, but I would say if you have some money, put a little bit of it as a emergency fund or hedge into gold or silver. You know, don't go crazy on it like I did.
Yeah.
But you know, put 5 or 10% of your worth into, especially silver, because it's still affordable.
Yeah.
And silver has for thousands of years. I mean, what is the guy who betrayed Jesus Christ? He did it for what?
24. Yeah.
For silver, Judas did it for. He got some silver for doing that.
Yeah.
So that's just to show you that silver has always been money, and I think one day it will come back to maybe being money. And plus, you know, you can use it in so many other things that it's not a bad idea to have some. I mean, to have a little. And people say, well, you can't use it as money. You got to first sell it and get the fiat money, which is the government money.
Yeah.
And that might be true. That's a valid point. But also, I think you can always find people that would say, yes, you come to the front of the line. If you got some silver, I'll take that over. But just think about what happened to Germany in the Weimar Republic in the 20s when they had hyperinflation. You've heard the stories of people loading up wheelbarrows and taking money to buy a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
That's the time when you would want some silver or gold.
Yeah.
Save your life.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to get out of the country and needed money and to get on a ship or a plane and take your family, you can be sure that somebody's going to take gold and silver. Right now, Russia is about all these sanctions on Russia. Russia's only trump card or insurance policy is they have a ton of gold. They have been compiling over the last decades. I think they got about $200 billion worth of gold.
Russia, the government in Russia, not
Yeah.
Okay. Golly, I didn't know that. But of course, this is all our opinion about things. Of course, Rice has done a lot of research and so forth, and it's good to know and the thing. But I like the thing you said. Don't go out and put all your money in gold and silver.
No.
Just a little bit, you know.
I think always, is people have always said, even the best investment managers have always, they say diversify. So have some land, have some stocks, have some cash, and then have a little gold or silver, somewhere in there too.
That's right. But and again, it's up to who's dealing with who, whether or not they're dealing with cash or they're dealing with gold and silver.
Well, the argument for gold and silver is you can't print it. I mean, there's a limited quantity of it, and so that's what gives it its value.
Yeah.
Plus, it lasts. I mean, you got a gold coin from 500 years ago; it's still just as worth.
Where do you keep things like this, Rice? I mean, that's another place. Where do you keep it?
I got it in. I've got it in storage away from my house. And there's a place that'll store it for you.
Yeah. Okay. That bail me out here. I don't know. I don't have a lot of it myself, but a lot of people. That's what they got for their wedding present was a little silver.
I'll tell you what. If you would have counted all the change you collected in your life, Dad, you probably would have had about $5,000.
Oh yeah.
Had,
no telling.
A lot of coins you've kept over the years.
That's right. I used to.
Well,
and
with silver, I was you count it by ounces. So say you had 1,000 ounces of silver. You can buy silver bars too. 5 ounce, 10 ounce, even bigger than that. But you had 1,000 ounces of silver. Well, you could sell that silver today for $30 an ounce with the premium, so you would have a $30,000.
But you couldn't do it. I mean, what would somebody do if I brought a 1,000 ounces of silver to you? They wouldn't know what to do with it, would they? If you took it to a bank, would they know what to do with it?
Melt it down, probably.
The melt value. Well, there's tons of silver retailers. You could quickly sell it.
Yeah, you would have to go to a retailer, though, wouldn't you?
Well, there's places on the internet that'll buy it, or you could put their individuals. You can run an ad and say, "I've got some silver for sale."
For cash.
but you're right. Like you could go to a pawn shop, and they'll buy your silver. And you remember that from time to time you'll hear jewelers saying, "We'll buy your silver."
Yeah.
And they will, but they won't give you the prices I've just said. I mean, they might, instead of giving you $30 an ounce, they might give you $17 an ounce. But if you look hard, if you look hard enough, you can find people that will give you what's called spot price, what the actual chart say silver is on that day.
So you need to do your research.
Right now, you could go, if you had silver bars or silver coins, you would have no problem liquidating that and converting it to U.S. dollars for 100% of the spot price of silver.
And what? And would it be from the bank, or would it be from an individual, or what?
It would be from a silver dealer.
Yeah.
A silver.
Yeah. Well, this is very interesting.
They buy and sell, and I think there's I think 8 Mix and Silver Doctors. I used to buy a lot of silver from them. But it's very volatile, man. I tell you, you'll have these little periods like the last week or two where it'll go up and you'll get excited. Then you have these depression moments where it plunges and you get depressed.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to encourage anybody to.
Yeah. Tell us
where in the United States is silver prevalent? Like, where can you mine for silver still? I mean, you got all these gold mines still in different places. Is there a certain place you get silver?
Not many left in America. Alaska has a lot of mining and a couple of companies. I used to own stocks in one company that mines in Alaska. That's another thing you can do is you can buy miner stocks. The people that mine it. Colorado, is famous. Colorado was founded for its silver stock, and the silver they still out west. I think in Idaho or Utah is. But most of the silver is mined in, I think, Central America is real popular, and Mexico has a lot of silver.
What if you have a lot of old bracelets or necklaces, or gold necklaces, gold watches, or what would you do? Would you take them somewhere and have them melted down, or what would you do?
I mean, when silver goes up, you can sell that stuff for a lot of money. In the silver, you want sterling silver. You got to look and see if it's sterling.
Yeah.
But jewelry.
Well, one thing
and gold. I mean, if your grandmother or something had a real gold ring.
Yeah.
Gosh almighty, that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, but again, would it have to be melted down, or would you say, here, this old college ring,
Eventually, it goes through the system and it gets to a refiner, and they don't care about having a gold ring, but they'll get a bunch of gold rings and they'll melt it down and then they'll convert it into coins or bars.
Yeah.
Just
like. Well, that is interesting, very interesting, and you know a lot more than most folks know about that, and it's very interesting to find out today. Of course,
Well, it's probably because of the inflation scares. It's back at top of mind, and more people are probably thinking about it than they have in the last 10 years. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. It's interesting to follow.
But
if the gold price is going up, that is a canary in a coal mine signal about danger in the world, or people are getting nervous. That's why people watch the gold price. They say, "Oh my, the gold price! If the gold is soaring, that says that people are afraid, and that the U.S. dollar people might be losing confidence in the U.S. dollar."
Yeah.
So people always
Yeah.
monitor gold and silver to kind of gauge confidence, I guess, or sentiment about the macro economy.
Right, so many people, like I said, we were joking about it earlier, but most people got gold and forks and knives and so forth. When they got married, and a lot of people hadn't even used them. But what would you do if you took a silver fork or a silver knife and went to the bank and said, "What can you give me for that?" Is that what would happen, or would you find a dealer?
A bank doesn't do that.
I know it.
But a silver dealer or a pawn shop would buy that in a hurry.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Before I became sophisticated about silver, when my mom passed away, I had at some point I had a little estate sale of some of Mom's stuff.
Yeah.
And Brother Chapman came through, and Brother's smart, and he looked through all the stuff, and you know what he what he wanted and what he got was all the silver forks and knives and spoons.
Yeah.
The sterling silver. So that has tremendous. And then I kept the silver goblets. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I have a lot of them.
You better lock it up, buddy. It might better lock it up. Oh, gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had fun talking about gold and silver this morning and coins. And, you know, if you...
Is this going to be a new segment of the show?
I don't know, but I tell you, Rice is very knowledgeable. You know, the thing is you know, you have to go to people that know what they're doing and before you sell it to anybody, don't you think?
Well, it's yeah. You might have to do a little work, but you can. I think there'll always be a big market for anything gold and silver. But the silver stuff, it's got to be old because they don't like the silver. I've got it. When I got married to Carrie, my great aunt gave me a silver tea set like everybody has.
Okay.
It's real pretty. It's real pretty.
Sterling silver.
Yeah, no, it's not sterling silver.
Okay.
It's silver plated. There's a little silver right on the top of it.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's not that's no silver value at all. But these things that my mom and dad and your parents and our grandparents, they all got silver when they got married 50, 100 years ago.
And that was sterling silver, wasn't it?
That is almost pure silver, and it's worth even with today's prices, is worth a lot of money.
Yeah. People don't realize what they got in their their dining room cabinet, whatever.
I'll tell you what else is a gold mine is owning property on the Florida Panhandle right now. I mean, we're hearing houses on the bay right now are like going for triple what people bought them for right now.
It is a definite buyer's market.
There's not enough homes here for all the people, the influx of people that are moving here.
No, excuse me, I should say seller's market. It is a huge seller's market, wouldn't you say?
I mean, people are literally making double and triple on houses they paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, $200,000 houses right now are going for $800,000 down here, they say.
Oh, boy.
Why in the world would, if you lived in California and all that communism and socialism they have out there and wacky ideas, why wouldn't you sell a house for what you can get a modest middle-class house and get $1 million for it in some parts of California?
Yeah.
Take that money and then move to Troy, Alabama, or Dothan, Alabama, or Brundage, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
And you can get you a beautiful house for $350,000.
Put the rest in the bank, or put the rest, or bury the rest, or whatever.
Yeah, you just profited $650,000.
Yeah, sure it is.
The government will take a lot of your money in capital gains taxes. But
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That is.
We looked the other day in Grayton, our little community here. There's only 4 lots available even to build on anymore. 4.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine what those would go for.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's what you've always heard. Is what's the one thing they don't make any more of? Well, gold and silver. They don't make any more of that from the earth. But
And land. Yeah.
Land is a far better investment than even gold and silver.
I tell you what, if I'm going to invest, I'm going to invest in Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need, and we appreciate them so much for being one of our sponsors, and of course First National Bank of Luverne, one of our sponsors every day, and we appreciate them very much. We're going to take of course right now.
We got basketball games tonight. You got the SEC tournament starting today in Tampa. So getting ready for that. I think Alabama plays tomorrow. The winner of the Georgia Vanderbilt game.
Auburn got a bye? Did Alabama get a bye?
Well, they don't have to play today.
Okay.
They don't play until tomorrow.
Yeah. What's that?
There's always been some great games already. Don't see Chattanooga win at the buzzer against Furman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting.
You know, I tell you what, Chattanooga's always had a good program. You know, they're awfully good over the years.
Getting back to land and the economy, one more point I would make is I think it's bullish to live in small. I think people want to live in smaller towns now. Inflation is such a big deal. Don't you think that more and more people are going to be wanting to get out of these high cost of living states and cities, and they are moving to, well, they're moving to Florida is where they're moving, but a lot of other people are saying, taking a look at Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, I've read is a
haven.
People are moving to even Alabama, and that just bodes well for Pike County and the Wiregrass, I think, in the future.
You're exactly right, and you know, we're very fortunate, you know, to live in a great state that you know, they don't. You know, you think about the value of a dollar. Where would you, with the value of a dollar, what would you do, Rice?
I would live in lowest cost of living states where you could still buy land for prices you could afford. I would get out of all these urban areas that are collapsing and have all this crime and litter, and I would be looking for small, mid-sized towns that still have all the amenities you want, and you can live a lot cheaper, and your kids will be safer, and the weather's good. So, I mean, you just go down the list, and it all
it probably will go.
It all points to it. People, they say people can vote with their feet.
Yeah.
And they are doing it. They're going to leave California. They are leaving California. They can leave New York. They are leaving New York.
Yeah.
And
so you would say
where are they going?
They say everybody from California is leaving to go to Texas. Is what I hear. I've read a lot of articles about that.
Well, it's a lot of real estate there. Yeah.
I have to admit, though, Rice, we ought to thank our blessings, and we could be in Ukraine right now. Every man in Ukraine from 18 to 60 up. It's time to stay at home and fight for their country right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Right.
Boy, that's something.
18 to 60.
But to answer my question, the value of the dollar in the South is still worth something, isn't it?
A dollar is disposable income. The dollar, say you have $100, you can buy a lot more stuff with that $100 in the South than you can in Los Angeles or New York City.
No question about it. You're right.
The gas prices, you know, to bring it home where people can understand it, they say this gas prices we've had in the last month, that's added about $2,000 to $3,000 a hit on the annual budget of families in America. Food prices are gone up by the same, so inflation has cost people in just gas and food $4,000 or $5,000. They're going to spend $4,000 or $5,000 more this year than they did last year. So unless you got a $4,000 or $5,000 raise, you are not keeping up with inflation. You're losing money.
You know, they say
we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the crypto.
Yeah, we need to. Rice, find out as much as you can about that.
People are huge on the Bitcoin. It has gone sky high. I mean, it's just exponential growth, and that's what people are moving into. Personally, I want something I can hold and see, and I don't completely understand Bitcoin, so I'm staying away from it. But there is no doubt that there are people there's a huge move into this Bitcoin stuff.
Okay, we've enjoyed it.
Apparently, they allow it at casinos in Vegas now too.
And none of this is expert opinions, but he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. And we hope that you've enjoyed our show, and you'll be with us bright and early tomorrow morning. We've got the rodeo folks coming in here, and we'll be talking about what's going on in America tomorrow right here on our show.
All right, I'll be in. I'll see y'all.
All right, buddy.
See ya.